Good morning, my badass friends out there that are making the big adventure beyond codependency. I'm excited to have you here with me in today's training. Today we're doing episode 6 in the series called Welcoming You. Welcoming You is all about coming back into contact with ourselves, becoming a warm and receptive space to ourselves. Whatever is showing up for us in our lives. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Today we'll be focusing on befriending your anger, because anger is an emotion a lot of us don't have a positive relationship with, and we have picked up a lot of negative and I think unhealthy points of view on anger. So we're going to be talking about that today. So if you're new to me, I'm Burtcher, and I help codependents rediscover their well-being and their happiness after narcissistic abuse, after codependency, and help them accomplish that happiness, their well-being, their satisfaction in their life by helping them come to know, love, and live who they are, helping them restore their safety, sanity, and self, and create happy, healthy relationships. So before we get started on that, I need to share this out to the community. The community is your safe haven here on the internet, where you'll find guidance, tools, and support in your journey out of narcissistic abuse, out of codependency, and back into your wholeness, your freedom, your peace, and your prosperity. So that link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to click a button. Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments below. Say hi. Share this video to people whom you think will benefit from it. And thank you guys for doing that. You've helped me get a lot more exposure. You've helped get my word out there. And thank you for the feedback, the consistent, regular feedback I get from you guys on how my work is impacting your world. And I really, really appreciate that, because frankly, that's the point. I do this because, man, I needed this when I was going through it, and there wasn't a whole lot of it out there. So here we go. So today, welcoming you, number 6, befriending your anger. So a question for you that you can either reply to in comment or reply internally to yourself, whatever you feel comfortable with. What is the first experience you have in your body towards your anger? How do you perceive anger? Is anger good? Is anger bad? Is anger violent? Is anger unsafe? What's the purpose of anger? What role has it played in your world? These are questions that help us start getting in contact with that relationship we have with anger. They help us start to understand what we have experienced with other people's anger and what we've been conditioned to believe about anger, and that gets us in contact with our personal relationship to our own anger. So for me, most of my life, anger was a no-no. Anger was expected but not allowed. That makes sense. Anger was something that was evil. It was inspired by evil. It was something that you had to suppress and that you had to transmute into kindness or into love or into understanding, or you had to discard or avoid entirely. And that was my internal experience with anger. I hated my anger. My relational experience with other people in their anger was that they used anger to hurt me. They used anger to control me. They used anger to justify their behaviors. So anger was weaponized that way. Now, these days, my relationship to anger is actually quite warm because I have a different perspective on it. I've discovered in my own healing that anger is our ally. Anger is there to assist and guide us throughout our lives. It guides us in acknowledging our boundaries, in acknowledging our limitations, acknowledging our needs, acknowledging our violations. Anger shows up when someone has stepped into my container, into my yard, without my consent. It's like, whoa, yeah, stop. That's not appropriate. Anger shows up when there's an unmet need that is really, really unmet. It's like, hey, this needs to be seen. This needs to be valued. This needs to be respected. Anger shows up as my advocate. It's my warrior. It's my defense. So those emotions are there to enlighten me to what's going unmet in me and where there's a violation in my own space. When I started to come into this relationship and befriend my own anger, it started to teach me the value of my own sovereignty, my own legitimacy, my own space. It said, hey, these things are yours. Understand them, respect them, cherish them, nurture and protect them. It was trying to get me to stand up for myself. It was trying to help me find safety. So in my experience, at least, anger became my ally. It became my friend. But I had to let it in. I had to come into contact with it and understand what it was trying to communicate to me. I had to get out of my own way. I had to basically acknowledge the shame I felt towards my anger, the guilt for it, the anger I had towards my anger, the hate and rejection I had towards it. I had to work that out so I could then receive my anger in its purity and understand what it was attempting to communicate to me, what it was trying to show me, what it was trying to connect me to. That's where it transformed for me, because now I understand when my anger shows up, something's gone wrong and I need to take a very specific and deliberate time to understand what that is and then meet those needs that are showing up, advance those boundaries that are coming alive in me, those kind of things. And this has assisted me in finding a lot of peace and safety and security with my own experience of anger and with others. Now, there's a difference between expressing anger and communicating anger. Expressing it is usually an acting out, which can be very aggressive, very scary, very destabilizing for security. Now, communicating anger doesn't generally feel that way, at least to me. And that shows up as, I'm really angry about this thing. I'm really upset and confused by this. It's not like, wow, you dumb, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not losing control. It's about understanding and expressing what's showing up for you in a controlled and mature way so that safety is preserved in the relationship. It's also important to understand that anger is attempting to point you to something within inside yourself and within a situation. And we can communicate those things, which leads us to a deeper connection and understanding of ourself and the relationship. So, for instance, if I'm angry and someone's not spending a lot of time with me, then that's telling me that I want more time with them. So rather than going at them and saying, I'm angry with you for not spending time with me, I can convert that to a request and go, I would like to spend more time with you. I miss you. What can we do to make that happen? That's a powerful shift, because anger is a pointer towards that need, right? And then we can communicate it that way. We build intimacy. We build clarity. We stay out of the realm of what I call accusatory or aggressive complaints. Instead, we convert the complaint into a request, which demonstrates positive intent on the other person's part, meaning we assume positive intent on their part, and we get to see how they show up. Because now we're not, vilifying anything. It's more like, they're not spending a lot of time with me. I'm angry about that. Well, let's make it into a request and let's see what they say. Because that way, communication can stay safe and intimate and clear, direct, and simple. And that allows us to succeed in building better and better communication, better intimacy and connection, companionship, play, and support in our relationships. So befriending your anger is really about coming to understand what it's trying to do for you. It's trying to serve you. Again, it's trying to point out unmet needs. It's trying to point out boundary violations so that you can advocate for yourself and build healthier, safer connections in your world. So anger isn't something to get rid of. It's not something that's bad or wrong or evil. It's a useful and important aspect of who you are. It's there to guide and protect you, and it's there to help educate you about what you really are looking for in your world. So get out there, befriend your anger. Now, if you struggle with this, or you're wondering where to start, there's I have a number of tools around anger. I have what's called the anger validators. I have the SAR practice for moving through anger. And those are linked above on Facebook, below on YouTube, in the tools library. You click on that link that's up there just below the description, just like second, third line in the description. Go there and check out those tools and start giving yourself a daily opportunity to cultivate a warmth towards your anger, to receive and understand that anger, and allow it to grow you in your world. So there you go, guys. Give that a shot in expanding your world and in welcoming more of you in by coming to understand the wisdom of your anger, what it's attempting to help you accomplish in your world. And let's see what you grow into. Because frankly, if you're in really good contact with your anger, you're in really good contact with your healthy fight and healthy flight responses. You know what your boundaries are. You're able to advocate for yourself. You're able to say no and say yes in an assertive way, because anger evolves and matures into assertiveness and directness and clarity. It's an essential part of our own maturity in a lot of ways. So let it grow you, let it teach you, and let's see what you discover there. So that's today's training, my friends. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. Go out there, explore your relationship with anger, and let's see what you discover. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye-bye.